It's what we know at this point. It's all started with a carjacking in Cocoa. Two men, a guy in this truck, we believe, offered two men a ride for money. They get in that truck and then carjack the guy at knife point. So then they take this vehicle, and that's when the chase ensued. I believe this happened about 1:30 in the afternoon. We're picking up on it over the last 10, 15 minutes or so. So Mike Brooks with us, HLN law enforcement analyst, as we watch this. We've seen, Mike, at least early on in this chase, when we first started watching this about 10, 15 minutes ago, some erratic moves, wheeling around, basically doing U-turns on the freeway. Now a little more I wouldn't call it safe driving, because we know the speeds had reached about 110 miles an hour. So what are you doing at law enforcement? We know they were kind of backing off a little bit because of some of this erratic driving.
Well, there's not a lot of exits off. This is Route 17. It's south of Orlando, a toll road, Mike, and there's not a lot of exits of where these two are driving right now. So, what is the plan for law enforcement? That remains to be seen. Are they able to get in front of this guy? And I can tell you, in Florida, they do have a mutual aid frequency, just like we were talking about yesterday out in California. California does, and so you've got a number of different agencies, most likely because it started in Brevard, in Cocoa, and then you also have Orange County. You've got Orlando, who may also be involved, and the Florida Highway Patrol. So there we see a Florida Highway Patrol helicopter right there hovering, keeping an eye on this guy. We just saw it as our helicopter from our affiliate WFTV was keeping an eye. You saw that Sheriff's Office helicopter and you see a unit on the right-hand shoulder right there. So it's going to take him a little while, though, because he's going probably around 80 miles an hour right now, Mike. And again, you worry about, number one, the safety of the community, the safety of the citizens who are driving on this road, and the safety of the law enforcement officers. We said yesterday, that was a great case. Everybody went home at the end of the tour. Everybody goes home, which is always a great thing. And we hope that same thing turns out today. But it looks like not a whole lot in front of him right now, and not a lot of exits. So are some of the deputies able to get out in front of this guy, lay down some spike strips? That could be a plan. But is he going too fast, possibly, to even try a pit maneuver? And it would be difficult sometimes to perform a pit maneuver, because you've got a fairly long bed on this truck here, with a vehicle. With a pickup truck, sometimes a little hard. I've seen one case that we had one time, Mike, if you recall. It was a pickup truck. You see these units along the road there. It was a pickup truck, and they got a law enforcement pickup truck with a crash bar on the front to do a pit maneuver and wiped him out. But, is that going to happen here? We don't know. We just hope it turns out safely and no one's injured.
Christy, go ahead.
Mike, I'm curious, because I know this happens on some routes, but because this is a toll route, are they, all of a sudden the traffic just disappeared. Do you think they're stopping people from getting on or off, or getting on exits at this point? Right,
well, there hasn't been many exits coming on and off this roadway for quite some time. We've been watching this. Right, Brevard County Police just joined pursuit, and looks like he's on the shoulder. Looked like his left front tire is wiped out. Yeah. It was a spike strip that he ran over from one of those officers that we saw on the side of the roadway. They got him down. So that's a good point. They didn't allow any cars on because there's no exits, and now they laid up the spike strips. So now he's going the wrong way on the road. He crossed the median, and you see right there, just head on into a vehicle. So this looks like it's going to be the end of pursuit. Is he going to bail out? That remains to be seen.
Is that a police car right there, Mike? On the left-hand side, he's trying to go. No, I guess they're just all stopped.
Yep, he's now, and you see the people on the other side of 417 trying to get out of the way. Now, this is a good time to do a pit maneuver, and we see one coming up.
Right?
A little slower. There we go. Well, because he has no control and steering. Now, here's another vehicle here. They're going to box him in, hopefully right here by this stake bed truck.
And you have to consider the safety.
Right, there it is right now. Now, you want to try to get a unit in front of him. There you go.
Oh, my goodness,
now, he's still going. Now, that other unit is going to come around now. Are these people in there armed? We know they at least had a knife. So you're going to see officers approach it cautiously and try to take this guy down. You see the officer in front getting out, running to cover. You want to get behind the vehicle. And you see that canine dog like we were talking about yesterday. If they want to get out and bail out and run, they got something for that, too.
Okay.
So now they're going to go ahead. And you see the officers using extreme caution. They're going to go ahead and perform, like we saw yesterday, what they call a felony traffic stop. They're going to go ahead and there's one out already.
Wow.
It looks like a female. Down. They're going to have her get down on the ground. Now, go ahead and deal with the driver. Now, they've got control of her. They put her down. You see the deputy with her down there. Now they're going to get him out. What they usually try to do is take the keys out of the ignition with your left hand and drop them out of the window, and then open the vehicle, step out, and with them, have them walk backwards to them. And sometimes you'll have them turn part the way around to see if they have any weapons in their waistband. You see the deputy on the left instructing him on exactly what to do.
So that person, there's your point man, basically, who's establishing communication with this person inside?
It could be, yes. That could be his initial communication. Then the officers in the back who had the best view of him, the best control, they're the ones that are going to go ahead and give him instructions. You know, again, we want to make sure that no one is injured, because this is a very crucial point of this right now. And you see him, he's going to try to take off again.
Not.
He rolled the window back up. You see his left and front, his front tires. Now he's trying to back up again. I tell you what, this could be, could turn out really badly here. This could because that vehicle can be considered as a weapon. That vehicle.
So what's your next move here, Mike? Forgive me, Christy.
No, I mean it's the deputy's call here. If they try to run over one of the deputies, you know, it could turn out poorly for that perpetrator behind the wheel. Now it looks like he's sticking his hand out. Maybe he is throwing the keys out now. So maybe he has decided to go ahead and give up this pursuit. Again, he tried to take off with at least 2, possibly it looks like 3 flat tires. So now they're dealing with him. We see him with his arm out. And again, you always have to consider that the person inside is armed and extremely dangerous.
I have to assume they're really interrogating that first person that exited the vehicle, obviously, right now, to get information from her on what he might have in that truck.
Exactly. And you saw that deputy just pull his car right up to the front. So make sure that vehicle doesn't take off. You got another one pulling up right behind him.
You've got almost a dozen cars around him at this point.
He is not going anywhere at all. So now this could be a negotiation. It could, because a lot of times when you get an incident like this, you get someone who is so desperate, it sometimes turns into a possible suicide situation. We don't know if that is the case in this particular chase, but he has not got the driver. He or she has not gotten out of that pickup truck as of yet.
Okay, I've got to ask here as we watch that unfold. I don't know if we've ever seen anything like that where someone is stopped and they decide they're going to try and crank it into gear and take off again. What would lead to the use of lethal force? I mean, is that something where possibly you would shoot, Mike? Or is that still no, and you're just still trying to, because you got wheels falling off, how far is the guy really going to go?
Well, as I said, you can always consider that pickup truck as a weapon. If he tried to run over one of the law enforcement officers, it looks like they have him out of the truck now. We don't know. We know there was at least 2 people in the truck. They have him there in the black T-shirt, yanked him out. Now they'll go ahead and make sure.
They're being cautious, aren't they?
And there's another person. There's another woman.
Okay.
There's another woman. So, is it a possibility that one of these women could be the owner of this truck? That's where we're possibly here. Is there anybody else inside that truck? They're going to go ahead and clear that vehicle. There's a possibility there could be someone else inside of this truck. You see someone hanging, their arms hanging out of the driver's side. You see 2 hands hanging out. Now, they probably told them to show their hands because, number one, that's what you want to see. You know, you want to see those hands. Even if they look at you, you know, bad, look in the eye, they can't kill you with your eyes. They can only kill you with their hands. So, again, we got that canine unit in there. If this person refuses to come out of that truck, they may send the canine dog in to use it as a kind of a helpful persuader, if you will. And it looks like that's exactly what's happening. It looks like they put the canine dog in.
There he goes.
And he came out the other side. So there you go. That's a good use of a canine.
Right down. Was there a stun gun, taser possibly used here?
No, I think what was used was the teeth of that that German Shepherd or Malinois that went in the opposite side. They probably said, "Come out, and we're going to send the dog in." I know I had a case one time of a guy who was in the stairwell. He wouldn't come out of the stairwell. We got the canine dog, put it right down the stairwell. He came right out. And, you know, they're telling him, good boy on this particular case. And they'll go ahead and clear the rest of this vehicle and make sure that, in fact, well, it looks like they may have used a stun gun on him also.
Because it looked like he went down, and we've seen obviously different surveillance things. Mike, you're very experienced with that.
Looks like 2 stun guns. I see the leads coming off of, there's a stun gun, model X26 that law enforcement officers use on a regular basis. And you see the leads coming off of him because what they'll do is they'll have an EMS unit come there and treat him, and then those barbs will have to be removed at the hospital. But it looks like everything is under control here at the scene, Mike, with the canine dog coming in, and you saw it. You were right there. They did use 2 officers used a taser on him because he was showing his hands, so they knew that there was no deadly force that he could use against them, and they went ahead and used the taser, which is called less than lethal force. We don't like to say non-lethal. We say less than lethal. And now that perpetrator with no shirt on is in police custody, and looks like everyone's going to be going home here in this particular case too.
It would seem like the perfect time to use taser stun gun because, I mean, he was not cooperating. He tried to take off numerous times, and even the dog flushed him out of the vehicle. So, hey, use it.
You know what?
Get him to go down.
That's exactly right. Because all they could see, Mike, was his hands, and as he comes out of there, there's always a possibility you could have some kind of weapon in your waistband. They don't want to take any chances. They went ahead and did what they thought was the right thing, using two of the deputies, 2 of the officers, using the taser, and again, an excellent weapon, especially in situations like this, and of controlling someone, and that's what it is. It's an ECD. An electronic control device. That's what a taser is called.
Okay, let's reset here.
BNP Productions. BNP Productions. BNP Productions.